All right, welcome back to season 2 of Str8Up. We're really excited. Our guest here tonight is Claude King. Claude, he received an undergrad degree at U of I in psychology, received his master's at Adler School of Professional Psychology, and currently holds 2 licenses. He is a licensed professional counselor and licensed associate marriage and family therapist. Welcome to the show, Claude.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Claude King, the light-skinned wonder of the world.
That's what they call me.
I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Jumping right into it, aren't we?
Hey, man, we're not wasting any time today.
Of course not.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being on our show. Tell us, man, what's been new with you?
Just the same old, same old. Just been working. I'm working for a couple different organizations right now. I'm working with Catholic Charities. I've been there for about 2 or 3 years as a therapist. Also, I work with clients that are mandated by DCFS to receive therapy. So I work with parents and kids alike, doing individual and family therapy. And then also I'm working with another organization called Remia Services. Okay. And they do some of the same work, but it's a private organization. So I'm a contract therapist with them, and I do like some home-based work with them and then some other stuff as well.
Talk to us a little bit about the demographic that you work with.
Mm-hmm. The demographic I work with is primarily low income, Black or Hispanic. I think I had maybe like one white client, one Caucasian client. But they're mostly low SES clients.
Okay. So what's that like, Claude, as a young Black professional dealing with other minorities that have come from crazy backgrounds and situations? You know, how do you relate to them?
Yeah.
Get them to invest in whatever the hell you're trying to tell them.
I think it's actually me being Black. I think it's actually been an advantage for me.
Okay.
A lot of times in the Black community, there's this stigma for not wanting to go into therapy because it's seen as a sign of weakness. And a lot of people in the Black community rely on church to kind of get that counseling. Yes, and you put up an excellent
article about that. We'll talk about that later. But
right. So there's a big stigma. So a big part of it is just, I guess, the fact that I'm Black helps out a lot. They feel like they can trust me and they don't feel like I'm against them. So that reduces a lot of barriers at the beginning. But yeah, I love working with my community. And it's kind of a different dynamic too because I grew up in a middle-class household. I grew up in an intact family, and I can't relate to a lot of my clients on that level. But just from hanging out with a lot of different types of people that grew up like that throughout my life and then talking to a lot of clients, I understand their perspective, even though I haven't experienced a lot of the stuff they've went through myself. So I'm able to relate with them, which helps out a lot in terms of building that therapeutic rapport.
So what you're saying more or less is, yes, I haven't dealt with all of the trials and tribulations that you have, but that doesn't mean I'm more privileged than you because I've had to deal with my own plights as a Black man as well, whether I'm coming from this level or that level, which is very powerful.
Right,
powerful place to come from.
Right.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I know a lot of people aren't very open to being revealing about their own life story and their own stuff that they have going on in their head. So do you find that your BS meter is like working overtime sometimes, or is it like you develop a rapport with them where slowly over time their defenses lower and they're more honest with you?
That's something I really had. That was a good question. That's something I had to learn. You have to keep a certain level of skepticism when you're in therapy. And when I first started off, I would just believe everything people would tell me and stuff, and then I find out later, especially kids lie to you about everything. So you have to keep a certain level of skepticism. It's sad, but I have to really question like everything they do, and I have to go a little bit deeper underneath the surface to really kind of determine if what they're saying is true. So it takes a while to be able to do that.
What do you do if you find out that they're not being entirely like open and honest with you? Like,
what's your therapeutic chokehold?
Yeah,
that's what you got to do, right?
Oh my God,
it's been a lot of times that's happened where I was working with clients and they relapsed and they started using drugs again, and it's a very awkward conversation because I'll find out from their caseworker that they failed a drop. And at first I was like, I don't know how to confront this, and I don't know if I should just be very direct or like wait for them to tell me. Some clients will tell me themselves, and other ones I'll have to be like, you know what, so I had a a conversation with a caseworker, and they told me that you had a positive drop. And like, I'm not upset or anything, but I'm more so just trying to figure out what triggered the drop. I'm not like upset at my clients because that's a part of the process. It's relapse.
You aren't here to judge them. You're just trying to help them.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So talk about this, Claude, because this is something I thoroughly enjoy speaking with psychologists, therapists, black therapists and psychologists. Why is there a stigma around minorities receiving therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, I remember I had an aunt, you guys, and she was dealing with depression. She dealt with a lot of crazy stuff in her life, and she would go to a therapist, and everyone in our family, not everyone, but some people in our family would frown upon that. They would say, oh, you're going to see that witch doctor, the shrink. Why would you go to a shrink? Just go to church, pray to God, and he'll make everything better. Right. So I want you to tell me, Claude, in your personal experience and what from me and what you know as a professional, why is there a stigma around this?
Yeah, mental illness is very misunderstood. I feel like in our community, it's like if you have a mental illness, people think that you're crazy. But a lot of people think if you go to a therapist, that means there's something wrong with you. When in reality, therapists go to therapists themselves. It's like you're going in for a doctor for a checkup. It's not necessarily something wrong with you. When you go to your primary care physician, you're getting a checkup to make sure that physically everything's okay. But we don't do that in the mental health field. People just don't go in like, I'm just going to go in for, an assessment with a therapist to make sure I'm okay up here, right? We go to a therapist when there's something wrong or we're in crisis, right? Okay. There's no preventative, care for therapy. Okay. Well, I think that's a part of it. And I think another part of it is just the stigma with the black community where we have this idea that we're resilient and nothing affects us and we just shrug everything off.
It's a legacy of black folk.
And it's a sign of weakness.
We withstand anything bad that can happen to you.
Right.
We're not supposed to do that.
We don't have a culture of going into therapy. Yeah. And I think that's another big issue.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
In the time that you've been doing this, what type of, I guess you could say, corruption, so to speak, have you witnessed that happens behind closed doors?
Corruption.
You really think that he can comment on this?
I'm not asking about. I'm not saying name names. I'm just saying in general. Have you seen things where you're like, dude, this is not right? People like.
Are you like?
Like a psychiatrist prescribing medication to a patient that doesn't need it. That happens all the time, y'all.
Well, in terms of the psychiatrist, I've read a lot and saw some documentaries about how the pharmaceutical companies will pay doctors and psychiatrists to use their medication, and they get kickback money from the pharmaceutical companies for prescribing people medication. So I say that is I would say corrupt in that way. And with I guess my DCFS clients, a lot of the integrated assessments I read, which is the document that's first put out when there's an investigation of abuse or neglect, and they go out to investigate and collect all this information. I mean, I feel like a lot of this stuff is just maybe lapses in judgment that the parent may have had, like the parent is cooking and then like a 5-year-old opens up the door and walks out, and that could be seen as neglect, and then you get your kid taken away, and then you're proving to the system for another 1.5 to 2 years that you're a fit parent.
Is that like a common occurrence?
That happens a lot, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
A kid just walking out.
Well, not that, but like just lapses in judgment. All of our parents probably had lapses in judgment, right?
Yeah.
But like the way the system is now is that you almost have to be a perfect parent, and then you have teachers, therapists, pastors who are mandated reporters. So if they see something that's considered abused or neglected, they have to report that. They have to. And that puts parents in, which a lot of these parents are really good parents. It's just like they may have messed up one thing, and then now their kids are taken from them.
Or like now everything has to be sugar-coated and cookie-cut. Like kids can't learn with a standard whooping.
Man.
Don't knock them over the head with a baseball bat. But it's like before you know it, like
my man
Victor.
Over the head with
this is why he's my guy.
Soap in the mouth because he said a dirty word. We got to investigate because that's abuse.
Right.
Like, no.
Victor.
Right. But some of that stuff is abuse. They more so. if you leave a mark on your
bro.
kid, if you're
got
hitting your kid to the point where you're leaving a mark,
Right.
that's abuse.
Wait, what do you
when
mean?
you're
Leaving,
in
what
the-
do you leaving? I mean, Claude, and I'm not even trying to make a joke. I mean, you guys are Caucasian and light skinned. So if anyone hits you, it's going to leave a mark, especially when it's merited.
It's different.
So if mom hits you once, Claude, because you did something bad and it leaves a mark, were you just abused?
Right. I mean, that's the debate that's
Okay.
going on. And the system sees it as abuse.
What?
But there's different, like, if you're hitting a kid,
absolutely.
let's say, okay, Adrian Peterson, remember, he got in trouble for
Yes.
abusing his kid?
Yes, sir.
He had his kid get a switch, which is a branch off a tree, and he was hitting him in his groin area.
Yeah.
And it was leaving bruises, and he had, like, open wounds. That's abuse.
Okay, but that's excessive. Again, Claude, you're light skinned.
Right.
All right. You're a good looking light skinned dude. You'll have a light skinned child.
Right.
You'll light that ass up once or twice.
But look, this is
and
the thing.
then it'll leave a
This
mark.
is what I learned in grad school. We learned positive parenting.
Okay.
So what we were taught is that when you hit your kids when they do something wrong, you're not communicating that they did something wrong and you're getting punished for it. You're communicating aggression and anger. The kid is not getting that they did something wrong and I'm getting punished. They're seeing the anger, right? So then you're raising your kids out of fear, right? Instead of helping them to understand, like, you made a poor choice. These are some other options you could have had. And a lot of things the kids can learn just, like, they run out in the street and they almost get hit by a car. That's a natural consequence. You learn, okay, I'm not going to run out in the street again, right? Some things kids can learn without being hit. So, I mean, that's one of the things.
And I mean, you think too, like, and I'm sure that you've had experience, but a lot of traits, both positive and negative, are passed down from one's caretakers, whether they're parents or guardians or whatever the case is. Like, it goes down. So if you treat your kid in a certain way, they're more prone to act that way. That's and that's the number one case with sexual abusers. I mean.
Right.
They tend to have learned that trait from generations before.
that this type of behavior is okay.
Right. And then this is what
that
you're
it's
teaching.
normalized.
And this is what you're teaching your kids as well. Like, when you have a problem with somebody, I'm gonna hit them, because that's what their kids taught. That's how you solve issues, is by hitting your kids.
But when it's merited,
there's other ways you can do it.
you got hit.
I got
When it was
spankings
okay. We don't want
when
to.
I did something wrong.
Listen again.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you guys something.
Right.
Okay, for those watching, there's a difference between getting hit as punishment and abuse. Abuse is, I came home, I had a bad day, I'm angry for whatever reason, and I'm going to take it out on my child.
Yeah, it's abuse.
Spanking is when my kid tells me to shut up in front of my peers and family members and disrespects me. There is a difference. You got hit. I got hit. You got hit. He got hit. And we turned out well.
I never got hit. I just got soap and Tabasco.
Close enough. All I'm saying is, and I'm going to tell everyone again watching worldwide, hit your kids, America. Hit your kids, because I'm telling you, when it is merited, because that kid will.
You know I'm a mandated reporter, right?
Neil's
that's
Good
fine.
thing you don't have any kids.
No. Listen. Listen. I'm gonna have
Remember
kids.
to like, comment, and subscribe.
Listen, you guys. Again, I'm telling you, I'm a first generation Cameroonian kid. We are strong advocates. We have to instill discipline and respect in
but
these
I'll
kids.
say this,
Listen,
I'll say this.
at an early
Yeah,
age,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
you can't play that mess.
Right.
Again, when it's merited, I'm not going to come home from work. I had a terrible day.
Yes,
I gotta
we
go to my
understand.
boss,
We
or
understand
whatever.
what you're
But
saying.
if my kid is acting up, he or she will be punished
Now
accordingly.
let Claude hit you metaphorically.
So I'll explain. My dad, his father would spank them and stuff like that. And my dad said that he didn't want to whoop me or spank me like he got whooped. So when he would, he said he wanted to make sure that he explained to me why I was getting punished. And my dad's a pastor, so he's very long-winded. So even before I would get the punishment, he would talk to me for about 20 minutes and explain what I did. And the whole time I'm just like, can you just get this over with? Like, I don't want
That's
to.
the punishment right there. The
Right.
anticipation for 20 minutes.
Right. So he would explain to me what I did wrong, and then he would hit me. But then it got to a certain age. I was maybe like 9 or 10, and he's like, you're too old to be getting spankings. You understand right from wrong. I don't need to do that anymore. It was appropriate when you were younger, when you didn't really understand, but now you do. So there's different ways to parent now.
You got hit.
I got a question for you.
Let me
Neil.
finish
So much
my
Neil.
point.
to edit it.
Why
Neil,
would
I
you?
have
No,
a-
no, no, no,
Neil,
no,
I have
no.
a question for
No,
you.
no,
I have a
no.
question for you.
Yes,
I have a
Vic. Yes,
question
Vic.
for you.
Yes, Victor.
What?
sorry.
Why is your kid telling you to shut up in the first place?
They heard
That
it
is
at
a
school.
reflection of poor parenting.
So-
Okay, Claude,
Yeah,
Victor,
yeah.
Victor,
School, and
kids
they
are
have
followers.
perception.
They go to school. They'll hear a word. They'll
Attitude
hear the
reflect
word.
leadership.
Shut up.
Captain.
You know what'll happen? You know what'll happen? Kids, all right, that look like me and Claude will go over to houses of kids that look like you and Rick's, right? And they'll hear that word thrown about at their house. Shut up, mom. Then they'll go back to their home and
I wouldn't say that.
and say, oh my God, I was at my friend Timmy's house, and he tells his mom shut up all the time. So I'm
you're
gonna
a
try
snitch.
this.
You're
So
saying
you
you're
ever
a snitch.
So you're saying that you wanted to do that? You want to when you saw
You
like,
just-
your
you just
friends
want
trying different
validation.
stuff with their parents? Like, oh, I should try that with Miss Batang and see how that works out.
Claude, listen. I went to my friend Ezra's birthday party. Ezra, a biblical name.
How
Okay,
old were you?
7 or 8 years old.
So when he said shut up,
I
what
went to
he
the birthday
was
party.
doing
He
was
said
right, 'cause
he
that's
he
the-
literally he was a freckled, like chubby kid with like a mushroom blonde haircut. He says, like his mom didn't have like enough money for popcorn. I said, "Come on, mom, shut up, come here!" And he yells at her, and I'm like, and she responded. So as a kid, you're learning, you're socialized. I'm like, oh, if you say shut up to your parents, you can get what you want. So I tried that on Moomy clothes. And it unfortunately didn't work to my advantage.
Right.
Then I learned, and she got a little physical with me. Again, it wasn't excessive. I wasn't like, but I was like, maybe I should not do that.
Okay, but brah,
So I know Claude and Rick's is saying anecdotal, but again, I just have this personal opinion, and there's no conclusive evidence to prove this. But I truly believe it's merely personal, gentlemen, that people who are physically reprimanded accordingly when merited turn out better in life.
Okay, brah.
We are
You
doing
would
that
have
right.
to conduct your own research on that.
Obviously,
We're
but
gonna need a part
listen,
two.
I've got
We're gonna need-
I've got
You
3
need to have
people
a
here.
control study, an experimental study, and then you need to
And don't forget-
group, and then you need to
know
conduct
what?
that research, and let's see what the recommendations are.
All right,
And then
cool.
what
I'm
the
done
conclusion
talking
is.
about the whole
Yeah.
hitting your kids.
'Cause I'm not gonna buy
Are you
into
gonna?
this.
You gotta ask Claude one more time.
No,
I've got more.
Like red.
So, Claude, on a more sensitive note, talk to us a little bit about the clients you deal with who have dealt with like sexual abuse, domestic violence, things like that. What are those conversations like? Are you dealing with mostly women, or do you deal with men who have dealt with this as well?
Well, the kids that I deal with, a lot of them, well, Catholic Charities, we're kind of specialized in sexual abuse. So a lot of our kids, both girls and boys, were either victims or the perpetrators of the sexual abuse.
Yes, sir.
And it's a really difficult conversation to have because it's very uncomfortable. We're not really comfortable in talking about sex in general in our culture. So to talk to a kid about like somebody touching them inappropriately is very difficult. And a lot of them, especially the girls, won't openly say that. So you have to kind of talk about it in general sense. And a lot of my work with kids is about understanding personal safety boundaries so they can protect themselves in the future if they're a victim. And if they're a perpetrator too. So this is a good touch and this is a bad touch. If you're touching somebody on their arm, that's okay. If you're touching somebody in a private area, that's a bad touch. And you have the right, because you have the control over your body, to tell that person it's not okay to touch me right there. So a lot of it is just kind of education on having that kid understand what good and bad touches are, what personal safety boundaries are, how they can protect themselves so they won't be victimized again. And then through those conversations, sometimes the kids will disclose, well, this uncle touched me, or this person in my family did this, or somebody else did that. Okay. And then you're able to help them kind of process through it and make some type of understanding about it and let them know that that wasn't okay, that you got touched, the feelings that you felt when you got touched were normal, and this is how you can protect yourself in the future.
Are there experiences where you've found that you've had to report people?
Oh, I do that all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
If a kid discloses something, then that was if it isn't in their integrated assessment already, like known knowledge,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
somebody else that
Yeah.
might touch them, I have to report that.
Like,
I
does
do
that come up relatively frequently where you're the discovery person?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
You ever have something happen where like you discover something, or so you think, and then you guys find out like the kid was just making shit up just to get back at like a parent or relative or whoever?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not up to us to decide that. If they say something, we let the investigators determine
It
if
just
they
turns
made
into
it
he
up.
said, she said. It's like, how do you like?
Right.
Where do you?
And a lot of the claims that we make are either indicated or unfounded. So a lot of times they won't find it, but they'll still document it. And if
Right.
something comes up again, then they'll have that on record. And they say, okay, it's a pattern.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. What do you
I'm-
see yourself
yeah.
doing in the next like 5 years? What are your goals for the next 6 months, a year, 5 years, and
Yeah,
so on?
yeah.
Celebrity therapist.
Oh, I'm not. I don't know about that. But right now I'm in the process of getting my clinical license, which is my next license. So the license I have now, I still have to be supervised, and then I think I have my hours now. I just have to add them up. I'll be able to take my next licensing exam, and I have my licensed clinical professional counselor license, and then I could practice independently. I don't need to be supervised. I can have my own private practice, and that's kind of like the direction I'm going in right now. I'm also looking to get into public policy, especially in the child welfare system, because like I've been talking about before,
Congressman King, right there.
that sounds
Congressman
sharp.
King.
Yeah, I mean,
like it.
we'll see. But I feel like there's a lot of wrong things with the system, the child welfare system, in terms of them being so quick to take kids away from their parents for neglect claims, not abuse. So I really want to work to change the systems that these kids are interacting with and parents and families are interacting with.
What are ways that people can sort of get a glimpse at what you're sharing socially? What's
Yeah.
it? Social
If you
media
need
handles?
therapy, how can they reach you?
Well, I don't think that's what.
Well,
he
that's
does
not how I
necessarily.
don't work in that field. Once I have my own
it's not on
practice, I
demand.
can do it like that.
Are you thinking about getting your own practice? at
Oh,
some point?
definitely.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just have to get my next license, but
Okay.
people can contact me on LinkedIn. My name is Claude King on LinkedIn. Facebook is Luke King. And I purposely did that. I changed my name because a lot of my clients would like try to search me on social media, especially the kids.
Interesting.
So I had to change my name to Luke King.
I was like, yeah, why am I friends with the Luke King?
Right.
I'm so confused right
so
now.
I did that on purpose. So Luke King on
Okay.
Facebook, Claude King on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Any DMs from groupie clients?
What the?
Listen,
All right.
Neil,
That
listen,
concludes
listen.
this episode.
Listen, no,
Claude,
we're not
thank you
done.
for
All
coming by.
Thank you.
Hey, we.
And real talk though, Claude, thank you for coming by. You came out from the city to hang out with us, and this has been a very informative and entertaining session
Yes.
for sure.
Thanks,
to
bro.
kick
Oh,
off season
absolutely.
two.
This has been good.
We'd love to get keep in touch with you and hear about the future that you have for yourself. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. For those of us who followed us last season, we do have a new channel now. Our new YouTube channel is VNR Media. It is no longer Str8Up. Obviously, we're still doing the show, but please subscribe to our new channel, VNR Media. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think, and stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? This is Neil Batang of VNR Media. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Because they've watched the whole video, they know
We know who you are. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. You've made it this far in the process, so make sure you continue to watch us grow and help support us by liking. Make sure you like, comment, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.